Friends, good morning to all of you. Now, let me discuss today the second practical. The second practical experiment we are going to discuss today, and that is a chemical test. Chemical test, there are three parts of chemical test. First of all, right now we are going to discuss the test for the presence of starch in the given food stuff. The food material which has been given to you have to test whether this contains starch or not. So this is the experiment to test the presence of starch in the given food sample. Now requirement, what things we require? The requirements are a starchy food, or we may take starch powder. Iodine solution, this is the reagent to test the presence of starch. Iodine solution. Beaker, test tube, split lamp, spatula, matchbox, test tube holder, dropper. These things we require. To perform this experiment. Now, see this what setup. This is a split lamp. Take the test tube. So the food stuff, the food material, we have taken water in this test tube. In the test tube, water in the test tube. Okay, we have put starchy food into it. Maybe potato chips, maybe small pieces of potato. We may take the sweet potato. We may take rice powder also, paddy powder, rice powder, etc. This is the test tube holder. This is the setup. Now in the beginning, let me come to the procedure. First of all, we have to take the starchy food in test tube. The test tube that contains some amount of water, little amount of water we have to take. In that water, we have to put the starchy food. Then it is boiled by heating for 2 to 3 minutes. By heating for 2 to 3 minutes, we have to boil it. After boiling, we can see the color. In the beginning, before boiling, it was white. It was almost whitish in color, but after boiling, it becomes almost colorless or translucent. Then, the next step is, we may put the water out. We may take out the boiled food material. In the boiled food material, we have to add few drops of iodine solution. Further heating is not required. Now let me come to the observation. See what happens. Observation. So the translucent, early in the beginning, the boiled food was translucent. Before adding the iodine solution, the food was translucent or colorless. Okay, but after putting the iodine solution, this colorless boiled starchy food turns blue-black. It turns bluish-black. Turns blue-black or bluish-black. Neither black nor blue, bluish-black. So presence of bluish-black color, this confirms the presence of starch. If it is not starch, suppose it is protein, it is some sort of sugar or protein, then after adding iodine solution, after putting iodine solution in it, it will not give blue-black color. If it gives blue-black color, it means the food stuff, the given food stuff is starchy or it contains starch. So this is the experiment which we have to perform. Let me see this is the theory part which I have discussed the process, the procedure, requirement, procedure, observation. Now let me come to the practical part. Okay. Now students, let me demonstrate the test for the presence of starch in the given food stuff. So now this is I have taken the starch powder. Because now it is the food material like potato, sweet potato. These things are not available right now, so I have taken the starch powder. Okay. Now this starch powder we have to take into this test tube. I have taken almost 5 ml of starch solution. This is the starchy solution. Okay. This is the test tube holder. I have to hold this water test tube with the help of test tube holder. Now, this is the requirement. You can see the what these things. This is the what starch powder I have taken. This is the chemical which we need to test the presence of a starchy substance, Lugol's iodine. This is called Lugol's iodine. This is the chemical used to test the presence of starch in the given food sample. This is the spirit lamp, dropper, holder, test tube stand, beaker. Now let me heat this one. I am heating. I have to boil it for 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, maybe 4 minutes. I have to boil it. Not only heating, I have to boil it. Now it is whitish in color. After boiling, it will become colorless. Now you can see the starchy food is being heated. Now it has changed the color. You take one precaution while heating the test tube. The mouth of the test tube must be away from the face of your face or face of any other student. It should not be towards the face of any student. It is away. If anyone is doing work from this side, then face is this side, then the mouth of the test tube should be on opposite side. Otherwise, accident may take place, may happen. And while heating, we have to shake the test tube. This is the test tube. We have to shake it while heating. We have to shake it like this. It's called shaking. You can see the color change. In the beginning, before heating, it was almost whitish in color. Now it has changed the color. It has become colorless, translucent or colorless. If it is being heated, if the material tends to come out, okay, take it out from the flame, remove it from the flame, okay, keep it away from the flame for the time being. Again it becomes normal, heat it. So these things we have to follow in the lab. So now you can see the color, it has changed, it has become almost transparent, colorless, transparent. In the beginning it was slightly whitish in color. You see the difference before heating, after heating. Now we have to put few drops of 3-4 drops of iodine. This is the Lugol's iodine. Now you can see the color change. The color of the material in the test tube, earlier it was transparent, now it has become bluish black. This confirms, is it clear now? It appears bluish black. This confirms the presence of starch in the given food sample. That's all. Now, hello students, let me discuss now, test the presence of glucose or sugar in the given food sample. The food sample which has been given to you, you have to test whether this food sample contains glucose or fructose or sugar or not. So there are two types of sugars, reducing sugar and non-reducing sugar. So non-reducing sugar does not give failing or Benedict test, while reducing sugars give failing or Benedict test. So later on I will discuss and the differential between these two types of sugar, reducing and non-reducing sugar. Firstly, let me discuss this one. Requirement. What things are required? Glucose or fructose or grape juice we can take. We need beaker, test tube, test tube holder, spirit lamp, spatula, matchbox, these things are required. Okay. Now the chemicals. What chemicals are required for testing the presence of sugar? We require two types of chemicals. Solution or reagent, either Benedict reagent we can take, or we can take Fehling solution. Fehling A and B. So any one of these two we can take, either Benedict or Fehling. Benedict is only one. Benedict reagent is only one type. Okay. But Fehling reagent or solution, this comprises two types, Fehling A and Fehling solution B. Okay, if we are using Fehling, we have to take Fehling A and B both. If we are using Benedict, it is only one type. Okay, now let me discuss the procedure. First of all, we take the food sample, solution was taken in the test tube, few drops of Benedict reagent. Now I am taking Benedict. I am taking Benedict reagent, not Fehling, Benedict reagent, and see the result by using Benedict reagent. So I have taken added few drops of Benedict reagent were added into the test tube containing the given food sample solution. Now, initial color, after adding the Benedict solution reagent, you have to shake the test tube. Test tube को shake करेंगे like this. After shaking, you will get light blue color or light sky color or light blue color. So the solution turns light blue color. Now we have to heat the test tube for 1 to 2 minutes. Heating for 1 to 2 minutes. On heating, you will see, you can visualize gradual color changes. What the gradual color changes? On heating, it becomes what? It becomes grayish or greenish in color, then yellowish in color, then finally it turns. After 1 minute, it turns yellowish red or orange color. So if we are using the Benedict reagent, so on heating, as soon as gradually the color changes, but as soon as you get yellowish red color or orange color, you stop heating. Presence of this color confirms presence of glucose or fructose, which are reducing sugar in the given food sample. ठीक है, तो only reducing sugar will give color. If the sugar is not reducing, it won't give you color like this. Okay, now students, as told earlier, we can take either Benedict reagent or Fehling's reagent. We can take any one of these two. So in the earlier we have taken Benedict reagent, or by using the Benedict reagent, we get what color? Yellowish red color or orange color, which confirms the presence of sugar or reducing sugar, maybe fructose or glucose or fructose. Now I am taking Fehling's reagent. Fehling A and Fehling B. So there are two types of Fehling solutions, A and B. So first of all, we add Fehling A equal number amount. Suppose I have used 5 drops of Fehling A, then I have to use 5 drops of Fehling B also. Okay, were added into the test tube. In this case, what will happen? Again, initial color was light blue. Heated for 1 to 2 minutes. After heating for 1 to 2 minutes, there is what? Gradual change in the color. Grayish or greenish, yellowish, then finally becomes reddish brown or brick color. You might have seen the color brick. So brick color of the brick. Brick color or reddish brown color you will get. As soon as you get reddish brown color or brick color, stop eating. This confirms the presence of reducing sugar, that is glucose or fructose in the given food sample. The given food sample contains glucose or fructose, which are reducing sugar. Okay, so this is the Fehling test, Fehling A and B chemical test. We have used both the chemicals, Benedict reagent chemical as well as Fehling's reagent or chemical. Okay. Now students, let me discuss what are reducing and non-reducing sugar. Reducing sugar, example glucose, fructose, etc. are called reducing sugar. Reducing sugar like glucose and fructose possesses free radicals. Free radicals means group, either CHO or aldehyde or ketone groups. If the free radicals are present, then if we use the Benedict reagent on heating, it gives yellowish red color or orange color. If we are using phenyl A and B, then on heating it gives reddish brown or brick color, brick red color. Got the point? So this is the reducing sugar. The reducing sugar, those sugar which possesses the sugar which possesses free radicals like CHO, aldehyde or ketone group. So they will give Benedict or phenyl test. The sugar which gives Benedict or phenyl test is called reducing sugar. Okay? Non-reducing sugar. Example is sucrose or cane sugar or common table sugar. Okay? This sucrose does not possess free radicals. Hence, it does not give yellowish red or brick red color on heating. When we put Benedict or phenyl solution reagent into it and we heat it does not give reddish brown or brick red color. So the sugar which does not give phenyl Benedict test is called non-reducing sugar. Now, what the meaning of reduction? Reduction means the free radicals are there. The Benedict reagent or phenyl reagent, both the reagents, Benedict reagent or phenyl reagent, this what contains cupric ion, Cu++ form में ion रहता है इसमें. When we add it into the food sample and heat it, on heating, the free radical, if free radicals are present, these free radicals reduces cupric into Cu+. Cu++ is changed into Cu+. This is called reduction. So that's why if there is reduction, there will be color. You will get the color reddish brown color or brick red color or yellowish red color you will get. If the sugar is reducing, the reduced sugar has free radicals. In presence of free radicals only, reduction takes place. Cu++ is changed to reduced to Cu+. There is reduction. Hence these are called reducing sugar. If we use sucrose, the sucrose after adding Benedict or phenyl reagent on heating, sucrose will not give any color because sucrose has no free radical. In absence of free radicals, sucrose cannot reduce cupric into Cu+. There is no reduction in case of sucrose. So sucrose is called non-reducing sugar. That's now let me demonstrate this. Test for the presence of sugar by using Benedict or phenyl solution. I have taken the solution will be unknown. After testing, you have to confirm whether this contains sugar or not, whether this contains glucose or not. But now it is open. I have taken glucose solution. I have taken the glucose solution. You see, it is colorless. It is colorless. Okay. Now I have to put few drops of 5 to 6 drops of Benedict reagent. This is the Benedict reagent. These are the chemicals we are using. Benedict reagent. This is Benedict reagent, and these two are phenyl reagent. Phenyl A and B. Which one is phenyl A? Yes. So this is phenyl A and B. So we can take any one of these two. Either we can take this one Benedict, or we can take phenyls A and B. It is up to me. Now I am taking Benedict reagent. So now after putting the Benedict reagent, it becomes light blue or sky blue. It turns light blue or sky blue. Got the point? Because it contains compound of copper. It contains cupric compound. So compound of copper is bluish in color. Now let me heat it. I am heating it for 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes. On heating, it will change the color. Gradually, the color will change. And it will become yellowish red in color or orange color. Now you can see the color change. Now the color is changing. On heating, the color is changing, and now you have got yellowish red color. Yellowish red color you have got. This confirms, or orange color or yellowish red color, this confirms the presence of reducing sugar. So the sugar is reducing because it has reduced cupric into cuprous. So this confirms the presence of glucose. This is one part. Now let me take the other kind of sugar, sucrose, chini, common. Now I have taken second one sample. I have taken sucrose or common table sugar. Okay. Now again I have to put 5 to 6 drops of Benedict reagent into it. I am taking Benedict reagent only in both the cases, by using glucose and by using sucrose. Now on adding Benedict reagent, it also becomes almost light blue or sky blue. You can see the color change. Now we have to heat it again. Now we have to heat it. On heating, it will also gradually change the color, and finally we will get brick red color. Now students, you see the color. I have heated the content in the test tube. I have heated it for 1 to 2 minutes. Almost 2 minutes heating has been given to it, and we did not get any color change. Still it is light blue in color. There is no color change. It does not give expected color, and that is yellowish red. Yellowish red color or orange color we could not get. It means the given food sample does not contain reducing sugar, does not contain glucose or fructose. Okay, that's all. This time I am using Phenyl solution. Earlier we used Benedict reagent. Now I am going to use Phenyl A and B. Again fresh sample of glucose I have taken. Okay, in this I have to put few drops of, first of all, Phenyl A. This is Phenyl A. First of all, I am putting Phenyl A into it. 5 to 6 drops of Phenyl A. Then see the color change. Then we have to put Phenyl B into it. Phenyl B, equal amount of Phenyl B also. You see the color change. It became what? Blue. It became what? Blue in color. Bluish color, blue. Now let me heat it. Next step is heating. On heating for 1 to 2 minutes. So after 1 minute, approx 2 minutes heating, we will get gradually color change, greenish, yellowish, orange, and finally reddish brown or brick red color we will get. This confirms the presence of glucose or reducing sugar in the given food sample. Now after heating for 1 to 2 minutes, you see the color change. It's brick color. Okay, so Phenyl A and B gives brick color or reddish brown color or brick color on heating for 1 to 2 minutes. Okay, you compare this one. On my left hand side, see the color. There are differences. My left hand side, this one we have used Benedict. On using Benedict, we will get yellowish red or orange color. On using Phenyl A and B, we will get brick red color, brick color. Okay, so the presence of color, this confirms that the food material or the solution contains reducing sugar, either glucose or fructose. That's all.